When you're the victim of a scam, you're often told to try to get your money back in small claims court. But victim after victim tells KARE 11 Investigates that system is failing. Lauren Lemanchek shows us why it can be extremely difficult to get compensated even if you win in court.
And it just keeps going.
A maze of paperwork.
You feel defeated. You really do.
In Vicki Semsh's eyes.
This is a failed system, is what it is.
Because after all of this and hundreds of dollars spent, she never saw a dime despite winning her small claims case. An all too common story in conciliation court.
You can win and yet not really win.
Attorney Beth Goodell with Mid-Minnesota Legal Aid has worked with frustrated clients over the years.
I warn them that even if we win in court, they may never see the money because it's a very complicated process.
Conciliation court exists to let consumers settle smaller disputes without having to pay an attorney.
This is the problem.
Vicki turned to the court after she says a concrete contractor hired to redo her garage floor and driveway did a poor job and damaged her home and fence in the process. But before the court could hear her case, she had to find him to serve papers.
He had 2 addresses, so it was really hard to know where we should serve him, so we did everything 2 times.
Unsuccessful, she spent $700 on a private investigator just to track him down. In court, she won. Good news, right?
Was that just the start of the process, getting the judgment?
Yeah, I thought that we were just going to get judgment and here we go. And instead we were given another piece of paper, but the clerk standing behind handed it to me and just said, "I am so sorry."
Why so sorry? That's because after you win, there are 7 more steps to go through just to get the money you're owed, and each one costs you more. First, you've got to docket the judgment, basically tell the court you won. Then request something called an order for disclosure, followed by an order to show cause. It goes on and on. More documents, a trip to the sheriff's office. Sound confusing?
He's supposed to tell us where his money is and how he's going to pay us.
And as Vicki discovered, if the person who ripped you off doesn't want to be found, you're out of luck. Her contractor dodged her again and again. Each time, she paid the sheriff $80 to try to give him these legal papers. But eventually, tired of throwing good money after bad, she just gave up. Despite that court order, the crook won.
It serves them better than it serves us, and I think they're smart enough to know how to get around the system.
KARE 11 looked at other cases filed against Vicki's contractor. He's been sued a lot. And the records show, unless the victim had a lawyer to track him down, he hasn't paid.
So this is hard, especially hard when the person on the other side is a scammer because they intend not to be found.
Remember Kristen and Michelle, who gave a landlord more than $6,000 to rent a house, only to learn someone else was already living there?
Have you ever seen any of that money back?
No, and he hasn't contacted us.
Last spring, we told you how they're among multiple victims of KARE. Altogether, KARE 11 documented how he stole more than $20,000 from would-be tenants. But when they tried to take him to conciliation court, they couldn't find KARE to serve him the papers. So after months without justice, Kristen and Michelle drove from St. Paul to the Scott County Sheriff, paying police to serve him. Finally, their day in court via Zoom.
He was just scamming a lot of people, and we were one of them.
And guess who didn't show up?
Just a coward.
The court ruled in their favor. Now they begin the same process to collect that frustrated Vicki. Here's the thing. It doesn't have to be this hard. In Texas, lawmakers just made a change allowing service by social media or email if you can prove the defendant uses it regularly. As for collecting a judgment, plaintiffs we spoke with say streamlining the process could make it a lot easier. So could more assistance from the court.
I wish there were more resources for just everyday people who need justice.
As for Vicki, she's never added up how much time and money she spent on small claims court. It makes her too upset.
How does that make me feel? Let down by the system, definitely. Angry and frustrated.
For KARE 11 Investigates, I'm Lauren Lemanchek.
If you have something you'd like our I-team to look into, just send an email to investigations@kare11.com.